COVID-19 is still with us. I know a lot of people are reopening up and they're thinking everything's better and it's gone, but no, the cases are still coming in. And the world is opening back up. So now's the time to try to be as safe as you can. I'm going to show you how to set it up on your iPhone for COVID-19 exposure logging so you can see how that's done. But I must warn you now, I don't have the second piece. So the second piece is the app itself. The apps have not been created yet. There are a few that are in beta right now, like in Canada. They're testing one out there, and Apple and Google are specifically working on an app which should be out soon. Especially with the country going back to work, I'm sure they're going to speed it up. So I'm going to show you how to set it up on the iPhone and go over a little more information about how this all works. Welcome everybody, I'm Kevin from helpfultutorials.net. If you're new here and you like iPhone tips, tricks, tutorials, do me a favor, smack that subscribe button. I'm sure you've heard this so many times that you're saying it yourself. And with that, let's dive in. So what we want to do here on the screen to go ahead and enable it, and again, we're going to need an app, but you're going to have the first steps here. I want to show it to you now because this is a popular topic and everyone's asking a lot of questions. So let's explain this for you. So let's go ahead and tap on settings. In settings, we're going to go down to privacy because this is about privacy. From here, and this is with Apple, you're going to choose health. And Android's probably going to be similar as well. I know Google has it in settings. And here we have COVID-19 exposure logging off. You can go ahead and tap on that. And here's the information. You cannot turn on exposure logging without an authorized app installed that can send exposure notifications. When enabled, iPhones can exchange random IDs with other devices using Bluetooth. The random IDs your device collects are stored in an exposure log for 14 days. This exposure log allows an app you authorize to notify you if you may have been exposed to the COVID-19. If you are diagnosed with COVID-19, you can choose to share your own device random IDs with the authorized app so it can store anonymously. So that's why we can't turn it on right now, because there are no installed apps. So again, the apps aren't out yet, but how it's going to work is you're going to be within a distance of a certain person. The Bluetooth on your phone is going to connect with theirs, and by you putting your information in, it's going to know if you possibly have COVID-19. So there's an exposure checks here. You tap on that, it's going to look to unlock it, and it says your exposure log has not been checked. So basically what will happen is if you come in contact with someone, you will get a notification pop up as long as you allowed notifications for the app that you install. It's very important to do this because you're going to want to know if someone is in range and is sick, so you can get out of there, put a mask on, or do whatever you need to. Now, this may help, but this is definitely not an end all, because only people that use the app are going to be shown if they're okay. So if people decide not to use the app, you're not going to know if they're sick. If they're using their app and they're updating it and answering honestly, then you'll know if someone is sick in the area. You can definitely not use this as a cure-all and prevention. You should definitely still wear a mask as mentioned, and the cases are still coming out, so you want to be very careful. The apps will be out, I'm guessing, soon, because everyone's starting to turn green, which means back to work, and they need to get this out ASAP. I know Google and Apple are working on this to get this out, so I don't see it being too much longer because they already have it built into their software. Now they just need to finish the app part. I will do another video once I see that an app is released and do a whole full thing so you can see step by step exactly what's going on. And I will be paying attention for that and looking for that. So when it does hit, I will let you know with another video. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see that. So basically, usually what they do is they ask 5 questions similar to, do you have a temperature? Have you traveled this area lately? Have you been exposed to anyone sick? You know, do you have a sore throat? It could ask you those kind of questions. And if you answer yes to anything, the app will most likely say that there's a possibility that you have COVID, even though you don't, just because that way they can be safe on the other side and say someone might be exposed. There can also be people that do it and just lie and say they're sick just to make it go off and scare people. I'm sure we will have a fair share of those people. Keep in mind, it's not a contact tracing app. They made sure to notify that. They're not tracking you, they're not saving the logs, everything's random, and it's deleted within 14 days. It's an exposure notification app. So that's all the information we currently have. It looks like Canada's in beta. I heard US is going to be releasing soon. And I heard UK is having issues because their app won't work with Google and Apple. And yeah, you need Google and Apple to pretty much make this, because it has to, especially for Apple, because it has to work with the hardware and the restrictions on the phone. A lot of these things are locked down because they don't want people to do it. But they are going to open this up and help us stay healthy. So I hope this gave you all the information you need. Again, there are no apps out there. I will let you know once there is on the channel. And thank you so much for the view.